Arachnids in the UK. Latest Doctor Who episode. Apologies, it's a little bit later than normal, but I just spent the past day recovering from a very nasty bug. So, yeah. I didn't necessarily feel up to doing it yesterday. But, yeah. I felt there was quite a few things that I did like about this episode. I mean, I know many people would be freaked out by giant spiders, and while I know that they did say quite early on that this series wouldn't be including any recurring or returning monsters from the series, I feel they could have maybe snuck in a reference to Metebelis 3, the from the classic story Planet of the Spiders. But yeah, the Doctor finally manages to get her friends Yaz, Ryan, and Graham home to Sheffield, and yeah, she finally manages to get them home to Sheffield, and they kind of have trouble fitting back into their previous lives. I mean, Yaz finds out that she and Ryan have actually been fairly good neighbours for a time, but Graham returns home and then has to face the facts of that Grace is gone and begins seeing her ghost. However, then they also end up encounter a guy named Jack Robertson who is a bit of an asshole, and also find that through some stuff with Jack Robinson and his hotel scheme, they suddenly have to deal with giant spiders. Yeah, it's a pretty crazy episode, but I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't think it was that bad personally. I mean, one of the things that I did one character that I did find I liked was Yaz's mother, Nadia Khan, who who is played by actress Shobna Gulati, who is actually the fourth Dinner Ladies cast member to make it into Doctor Who. The first one being Anne Reid, who was in The Curse of Fenric back in the 1980s, and then also played the alien Plasmavore in Smith and Jones in 2007. Thelma Barlow came later on in Series 3 playing Lady Thor in The Lazarus Experiment, and Celia Imrie appeared in the 2013 episode The Bells of St. John. So, yeah, with Galati joined the Whoniverse, I feel it's kind of a nice go. I feel that, yeah, while the main star of Dinner Ladies, Victoria Wood, sadly never got really. I did heard she did write a Doctor Who sketch once, but I I haven't seen it, and yeah, sadly didn't get her. But yeah, I feel she was a nice addition to the cast. I did feel there were some good parts of the episode, but also some parts that I did question. For example, they managed to lure quite a lot of the giant spiders to one specific room using vibrations from dubstep. That to me felt really, really, but yeah. I mean, I questioned that myself, but hey, if it worked for them, it worked for them. And then they had to go and make us feel sympathy for a giant spider. To get a long story short, towards the end of the episode, they discover was essentially what I think is like the queen spider, except she's grown too big and it is now effectively killing her. The Doctor says, well, they can do something to allow her to die in peace with some dignity. Jack Robertson ends up shooting it. I mean, yeah, he was pretty much the arsehole of this episode, but yeah, you had to go and make us feel affection for a giant spider. And yet they did. They made it work. But then the part of this episode that I feel really strong, that I felt showed they did quite well, was the ending itself, in which we see the group trying to slip back into their lives, but then deciding that they actually they want to keep travelling with the Doctor. I mean, yes, the previous New Who companions have always had something of a choice with the Doctor. This one I felt was done pretty well. They had been they hadn't intended to be companions when they started off with in The Woman Who Fell to Earth, but yeah, now they got the choice and they're prepared to take it. Graham, he feels that he needs a way to to deal with his grief after having lost Grace, and travelling with the Doctor might be a way to do that. I found that very relatable. I mean, everyone deals with grief differently, and ultimately that's one of the things people do in order to try and help them with their grief, which is to keep busy, to travel. And you know what? I feel that was a good direction for Graham to take. It's also that Yaz decides that while she loves her crazy family, maybe she just needs a little bit of a break from them. It's not that one's not so much relatable. I mean, everyone has a crazy family of sorts, but yeah, that she just wants something a little bit greater. And even Ryan says that he doesn't particularly want to go back to the warehouse where he worked. So I do feel that they have a bit more of a choice than previous companions showed. I mean, previous companions did have a choice, or did make the choice to travel with the Doctor, but I feel I feel this time it was that I managed to get you home, and just like, no, actually, we want to keep travelling. And I do feel they did that well. I also kind of liked that the Doctor says, alright, do you want to do it together? And you know what? I feel it was good. Is the episode perfect? Probably not, but you know what? It's decent. I also got pointed out to by a family member that the title Arachnids of the UK is sort of a very loose meta reference to a Sex Pistols album called Anarchy in the UK. So, see of it what you will. Until then, until next week, from me, let's hope I'm feeling a little bit better by next week. But for me, and my new David Tennant style coat, see ya.